Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, everybody. I'm Ronnie, and that's Ben over there. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going? Did you drop a little pen down there by the side of your desk?
Drop some chapstick.
Oh, it's slippery chapstick. You gotta be
Look at
careful
all these
with
I've got Aquaphor, I've got raw sugar, I've got this chapstick, lots of lip stuff going on over here. I need a lip liner like Lexi.
Watch What Crappens brought to you by the chapstick family of products.
Yes. Well, I've even got raw sugar natural lip balm. It's watermelon flavored in case Gayle needs a snack. Everybody, welcome to Top Chef Day here at Watch What Crappens, where we just got back from Texas. What a great weekend. Thanks for everybody coming to Texas shows. We had a great time meeting you and laughing with you. We are going to be in Vegas this Thursday night. We're so excited. We're going to be recovering. We're going to be covering Summer House. So come join us for that one this week in Vegas. Also in June, we're finishing up the tour in Seattle and Los Angeles. Go get your ticket. Links at watchwhatcrappens.com. Also, find our Patreon link over there. That's where you find video recaps like today's. Hello. And it's also where you find our bonus episodes. We've got a huge 3-parter bonus coming out of our road trip between Austin and Dallas, where we just ramble on and talk crap forever. It's for a really long time.
We cover a lot of territory. We talk about Doritos. We talk about AI. We talk about
slut shaming.
Frances McDormand. Slut shaming.
Frances McDormand, yeah. Buc-ee's billboards. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
So join us over at Patreon to get those, and Crappens on Demand to get videos and video recaps for the first time ever on our bonus. Video recaps of a road trip.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go over to one of the oddest themed Top Chefs we've had this season.
Yeah. I always love like the first episode or two in May on Top Chef, because that's when they try to do a tie-in with a summer blockbuster. Like there was the one where they had to do like a Jurassic Park themed challenge once.
Yeah, that was weird.
This one is going to be a Mission Impossible. Oh my God.
Well, the Jurassic Park one, at least they were like, make it look scary and bloody. Wasn't that the one where they were putting blood all over the plates? And there was like,
I don't remember. Yes.
Yeah. That one was, yes. I think, scarier. This one, they were like, make a stunt. What the fuck does that mean? You want to see a real stunt? Watch Gayle's digestive system trying to work with everything she shoves into it.
Here's a stunt watching Gayle get out of a bathtub without some butter.
Gayle disclaimer. We love Gayle. No Gayles were harmed in the making of this show. Okay. We love Gayle. But Ghost Padma, this week Padma died because she tried to do a stunt off the side of the building and fell off. So she's back as a ghost. Blame Padma, not us. All right. Let's get into it.
I tried to climb the Burj Dubai. I got 1.5 stories up the Burj Dubai and I fell off and I died immediately.
Yeah. Did you mean to be so tall? So here we are, season 22, episode 9, Cooking on the Edge of Glory. Gaga's back. I had to say it as a gay. So, yeah, we're the Magnificent Seven. Massimo is like, we're back. So, people have just been kicked off, but now it's more important than ever because people have been kicked off. And of course, Tristan just lost his father. So he's like, I'm not only doing it for me, I'm doing it for you, buddy. And then the chefs come to the test kitchen where now we have Tom and Gayle joining Kristen.
Yeah. And Vinny's like, oh crap. What are we going to get into now? Something intense is about to happen. I'm going to have to make 3 times as much hollandaise as usual. So Kristen's like, well, you might be a little surprised to see Tom and Gayle this morning. Any guesses why? I don't know. Was there a sale on Pirate's Booty? That was mainly for Gayle. I don't know why Tom's here.
Was there a sale on Pirate's Booty and Tommy Bahama hats for Tom?
That's better.
Tom's like, well, we just don't want to miss out on all the fun. So here we are. Well, I just wanted to come shame you in person. So we're doing that now. And Gayle's like, that's right. Because from now on, we will be here alongside Kristen to judge the rest of the quickfires in Canada. The show is tanking. They've brought in the big guns. Gayle. Now You get to see 2 terrible patterns per episode. You're welcome, NBC Universal.
Yeah, well, we're going to factor in both the quickfire and the elimination challenge in deciding who stays and who goes home. Unfortunately, my son did not factor in a legacy he could have had by following in my footsteps. Instead, he decided to become a mixologist. But that's fine. That's fine. He doesn't have to factor in anything. The way we factor in things for you guys.
Bailey's like, quick fires have been really difficult since I got back from Last Chance Kitchen, but I'm a new Bailey now, and I feel the pressure to get it together. Oh, God, go make some penne pasta somewhere. I can't.
Well, everyone, for this quickfire challenge, you're going to have to flex your muscles. I say that with air quotes. Muscles. Muscles. Does anyone get my joke? Muscles. Muscles. Mussels. It's a homophone. Anyone?
The only ones Gayle has are in the back of her throat. So Kristen's like, welcome, your guest judge from Prince Edward Island, chef and professor at the Culinary Institute of Canada, and James Beard Award nominee for stepping off the curb while holding a hot dog, a soda, and a side of chips. At the same time, Alona Daniel. Welcome, Alona.
Oh, that's funny because I call Gayle Alona at Starbucks. So,
Alona for the rest of her life. Gail Simmons.
Alona at Baskin and Robbins, or as we call it now, Inns, because Gayle ate the Baskin and Rob. So, well,
hi, Alona. Hey guys, Alona's here. Hey Alona, before we do the muscles challenge, can you please explain your contacts? Because they don't really make sense with your eyes. Did you mean to look like you've been holding your face under a chloroform swimming pool for half an hour? You look ridiculous. Alona's like, wow.
Hey Alona, great job trying to steal Ileana Douglas's names. Couldn't do it though. She was my friend when I was alive. Now I haunt her. So, Kristen's like, just off the coast of eastern Canada is a little place called Prince Edward Island. It's also known as Canada's Food Island. Is that right? Well, that explains why Gayle's always going up there. Am I right, everyone? Food Island? No?
Isn't Prince Edward bad? Let me look. Prince Edward Jeffrey Epstein. That's Prince Andrew. Okay, never mind. You're off the hook, Prince Edward. You go with your Food Island. Okay, so Alona's like, you betcha. With 1,000 miles of coastland, we have some of the best lobster, oysters, and our favorites are our mussels. Did you get it, everybody? Mussels, like mussels?
Prince Edward Island actually produces over 50 million pounds of mussels each year, and they can be found on the menus at some of the best restaurants all over the world. Thanks, Gayle. Thanks for describing what the fuck a mussel is. We all get it. We're on Top Chef. Ugh. Sorry, humans.
Wow, 50 million pounds of mussels each year. Sounds like Gayle's calorie counter.
Our mussels are grown in what we call socks. Oh, don't you mean what Gayle calls a dinner plate?
That's funny because Gayle calls her socks mussels. Ew, Gayle.
Have you ever seen Gayle stuff a sock full of peanut butter and then try to eat it out? Ew, that sounded grosser than I meant.
So they grow these in these things called socks because it protects them from being eaten by predators. Wow, you should start doing that with hamburgers. All right, Gayle?
You know what? When I was living, Tom and I used to trap Gayle in a corner and force her into a giant sock. So that way we could eat our meals in peace. Anyway, keep going, Kristen.
Well, also, socks help keep them tender. Wow, that's funny. That's one thing Gayle's never needed help with. Am I right, Gayle?
Oh, I was just telling Orson Welles I have a lot of good sock material that I was so excited to use today.
So for the quick fire challenge, they have to do something with mussels in 20 minutes. Okay, listen, I know you've got Tom and Gayle here and they're busy people, I presume. And you don't want to make them stay here all day. I don't want to see shit made in 20 minutes. I'm like, if I wanted to do that, I can't even make a sandwich in 20 minutes. Like for me, that's not a food challenge. Just to be like, wow,
Yep.
You've got 20 minutes to do something creative. At that point, you could just steam the shit and put it on a plate. Come on.
Yeah. I agree. Like, let them actually be chefs a little bit. Like, give them that extra 10 minutes. And so Massimo's like, oh, BEI mussels are the best mussels in the world, but they're huge, they're delicious, but they're giving us 20 minutes? That is a tough one. So Tom's like, yeah, we usually see the white wine steamed mussels, but we don't want that. You're going to be judged on creativity as well as how well you look at the mussels. So go after it and don't steam them in white wine. Because if you steam them in white wine, guess who will be the white winer? It'll be me.
So Alona tells them that these kinds of mussels don't take long to cook, but 1 minute can be the difference between a tender morsel of oceanic juiceness or a rubber bullet. Wow, that's amazing, because it's really only one glass of wine that can take Gayle from a tender morsel of oceanic juiciness to a rubber mullet. Mariah Gayle?
Well, as always, you'll want to impress.
I don't really know what that's supposed to mean, but okay, I will not be wearing my rubber mullet anymore after a glass of wine.
As always, you'll want to impress, because the winner of this Quickfire Challenge is going to take home $10,000 in Quickfire Quick Cash, brought to you by the Glad Bag family of Glad Bag products, also in conjunction with Insomnia Cookies, as well as John Deere, the home for when you want to cut down grass.
This week, your challenge is to make something in 30 minutes created out of KY Jelly, our sponsors. Have fun. Like, what the hell? What are these challenges?
So Massimo is like, mussels are not as easy as people think. 30 seconds is enough to overcook it. 30 seconds of undercook can make someone violently ill. I'm like, yeah, she just said the whole rubber bullet thing. Come on, we understand. So they're
Lana's
cooking.
like, I'm from New York, and I really, in New York, we love our subs, our Italian subs. So I don't think anyone else is going to want to do something like an Italian sub. So it's going to be me.
In fact, when I was growing up, my parents got me an entire refrigerator just for Italian subs. They said, please, why do you eat such stinky food? How many refrigerators do we need to get you? Thanks, Mom.
When she said this, I was like, gross. You're going to do an Italian sub of mussels? I don't think I want that. It turned out to be great, though. It just goes to show you, don't judge. Don't judge prematurely.
Yeah, exactly. Don't judge until the judges have judged. So Bailey is going to do something with like green apple jalapeno aguachile, which doesn't really make much sense. And Tristan is going to do something with zucchinis. He's just going to like wrap them in zucchinis and have fun with it. And Vinny is like, well, I think that what I'm going to do is cook some mussels in hollandaise and serve it on a plate that's in the shape of one's going to be on an N, one shape is going to be an O, one shape is going to be on an M. You get it. It's going to spell nomad out in mussel plates. It makes a lot of sense.
And so Sarah's like, 30 minutes is tough. 20 minutes, it's like, come on, man. And then you hear, ah! You jump under a table. I got scared. That was my own clap. I almost hurt myself. But I think that I'm going to do mussels with beets because, beets, maybe that'll blend well with mussels. I was like, wow, this guy really lucked out with his fucking dill pickle ice cream, because everything since then has just sounded completely nuts and not good. Although I don't think dill pickle ice cream sounded good either, and they like that. So I don't know. I don't need beets with my mussel.
Yeah, I love beets. I love mussels. I don't really see them as being a great duo. So Shuai is making a station, and he's gonna do like basically a stir fry. That he's gonna use techniques he learned from his mom and his grandma. And then Vinny's
Shuai's doing it the right way, though. I have to say, I get kind of bored with this kind of cooking. I get bored when the chefs are like, "This is how I grew up, and so now I'm gonna cook everything the way I grew up." Like, I don't like that. I like it to be, sometimes. But he's really leaning into it, and this show loves that. I mean, every meal he makes now, he's like, I'm doing this for my grandmother and my mother. I'm like, that's smart. It's a winning strategy on this show. They love that shit. They eat it up.
They do. Literally eat it up. But anyway, Vinny's actually not doing anything with hollandaise. He's making a larb, which is unlike Vinny. And then we find out Massimo's also using zucchini blossoms, which could be an issue with Tristan. But of course, we know Tristan's going to do the better version because he always does. And then Lana's working on her sub and everything. And they're just cooking. And it's all going pretty well.
I thought that was pretty weird that it was two people putting a mussel inside a zucchini flour and frying it.
Yeah.
Who copied
who? I'm going to say I'm gonna say Massimo copied Tristan because Tristan's kind of like the one to beat this season, so people would copy him, I would say.
Yeah, someone copied somebody. So Bailey's like, I wish I had more going on here. The one day I decided not to do pasta for some inexplicable reason. And I couldn't believe she didn't do it. I thought she was going to be like, and here's a ravioli with mussels in it.
Yeah. Why didn't anyone make a soup? I'd make a soup. Is that too close to just like white wine, steamed with white wine? Because I think a mussel soup would be lovely, like a mussel chowder.
Yeah, I don't know. Hers kind of looked like a soup on her aguachile stuff. But anyway, it looked like it just jumped from a really high ledge into an aguachile sidewalk and just kind of splattered all over it. So Shuai is the first to present, and he's like, I call this Did It for Grandma. Okay, it's a little bit of scallion ginger mussels that are good little boys and get candy when they behave. Okay, there's Chinese cooking wine, which is not the same as white wine, Tom. Okay, because my grandma used it.
Gail's like, well, there's some nice heat in here. Yeah, well, Gail always says that, especially when she goes to Burlington Coat Factory and finds a nice trench. So then Kristen is like, all right, Caesar, it's your turn. And he has his beet juice thing. And Alona was like, and how was it with the 20 minutes on the clock? Which was her way of saying, this tastes like garbage. You clearly ran out of time before you could make it taste good.
Yeah, and it was weird. I don't know how he presented it. He's like, these mussels are steamed in beet juice and coconut fat. I don't think I've ever heard the term coconut fat before.
And I don't think
is
I
that
want
a thing
that
people
with my
say?
beets and mussels. Well, there is like I guess like with a coconut cream, there's like the shit on the top, but I thought the coconut cream part. I don't know. I think
I don't know. I've just never heard someone specify like, yeah,
coconut
I did
fat.
It with coconut fat. Just sounded weird to me. So, yeah, Alona, I think you're right, was totally shady. She's like, wow, with 20 minutes on the clock, how did that feel? That you failed, right? God. Unfortunately, we're never going to get that back. Okay. So now it's Vinny. And he's like, I did mussels in the style of larb mad. Okay. It's dressed in just a little bit of vinaigrette. Sorry, that's not a wine either, Tom. Okay. And then I took the mussels and roasted them in a bed of all these herbs and garnished with some Nomad pickled chilies. Nomad. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that.
All right, Bailey, tell us about your dish. And she's like, I cooked the mussels with onion and mezcal, and then I used some of the liquor and made a black garlic aioli and then chilled apple broth. And Alona's like, and how long did you cook your mussels in this combination of flavors that don't go well together? She's like, 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes to cook mussels?
Down. Alona's got this down, man. She knows how to shade them. Every time she asks a question, you know they're going down.
I know. But by the way, I feel like 2 to 3 minutes to cook mussels is very short. I feel like mussels take 7 or 8 minutes, right?
Well, they said these are quick mussels, so I don't know. These are modern mussels that we cook quickly.
These are quick open mussels.
I think it's because
Quick
they spent
release.
time in a sock.
They're very sock motivated. They're like, we spent our whole lives in a sock. It's time for us to break free. I'm opening up quickly today.
So then Tristan serves his zucchini flour with a mussel in it. And he's like, guys, underneath this is mussel emulsion. Gross. That sounds disgusting. I don't care what anybody says. And then he goes, and then there's a zucchini salad and it's dressed with mussel juice. Okay. No, none of this is okay. I wouldn't even eat this if you told me mussel emulsion and mussel juice. That's like, what is it? It's like when you open tuna fish and what are you going to drink the water? I don't want that. Wash it. Wash it off.
Have you ever made anything like this before, Tristan? Wow, Gail, that's a tough question from someone who wears culottes on her head. So then Tristan,
Wow, mussel emulsion. How did you get into Gail's perfume stash?
which is her way. Which is, never mind. So Tristan is like, no, I haven't made this. And they like sort of giggle. And then Lana she presents her muscle subway sub. Their sub. And so they're like, okay, Massimo, what about you? He's like, smoked mussel sandwich with tomato emulsion and of course zucchini blossoms. So Alona's like, so why did you go with the zucchini blossom on this one? Which is my way of saying, why did you make such a shitty zucchini blossom? You know that we're judges, right?
Yeah. And he's like, I thought it would be clever. apparently I wasn't the only one. Ha! Am I right? And so Alona's like, well, I liked that it played on the sweetness of the mussel and it worked with that umami. It was very interesting. He's like, do you look like a wolf at night? Can people still see your eyes?
Yeah, I think they definitely flexed their culinary muscles. So yeah, see what I did there? Culinary muscles.
They sure did, Tom. They sure did.
I already made that joke, Tom, but that's okay. Okay, well, I love it when you do Dad, Tom. That's just one of my favorite things. So let's start with some good news. We're going to start with good news this time. Alona, who had one of our favorite dishes? No one. Okay, well, Alona, I'm going to need you to just pretend. Fine. I really enjoyed Lana's dish. There was it was really wonderful intensity of brininess. My favorite part was when I got to throw it all out in the trash.
So Tom loved Lana's Italian sub idea because it was a toast. It was basically like a mussel toast. And he's like, who doesn't like an Italian sub? Gayle almost married one. And so Kristen's like, Gayle, who had one of your favorites? And she's like, Vinny, I love that you had an idea of larb. Really, really good. It was perfect, easy on. It was so easy to eat on that endive. I thought it really worked. I love eating things on endives. Gayle, Oreo cookies are not endive leaves.
Well, we asked for something different and unique, and you delivered on that. Tom, who else had one of our favorites? Tristan. It was crispy, as advertised, and the mussel was nice and juicy and plump. Also, I love the fact that you took the mussel juice and turned it into an emulsion and a vinaigrette. A real good use of the product. You're really inventive. I only wish I had a son who could do half as many things as you did in that one bite. Thank you so much.
They also loved schweiz, flavor-wise, fantasta. And so who muscled their way to the top of this quick fire challenge? And guess what? This dish had the briny, delicious ocean flavor that she wants. So Alona picks Lana.
But mainly because we know that Lana has at least half of the letters in Alona's name. She's like, I did it really because of letter bias. So Lana wins her first. Is this her first like individual thing that she's won? She won $10,000. She's very excited.
Well, she's won 25,000 all total. So she must have won some other stuff.
Yeah, I think that was group stuff, but I could be wrong because honestly, I do not pay attention to this and I don't even know why I'm asking about it. So then on the bottom were Caesar, Massimo, and Bailey. And they felt like Caesar's the beet in the coconut. It just didn't work for them. And then Tom's like, Massimo, good idea with the zucchini, but unfortunately, Tristan did the same thing. He just did it better. So something I always say, you suck. And then, and Alona felt it was under-seasoned and stuff.
Yeah. And Bailey cooked her mussels well, but it was just incomplete. Like you didn't have time to fully give us what you had envisioned. And she's like, pasta? Yeah, pasta. I could tell when I ate this mussel that you wanted to really make a mussel lasagna. I just really wish you had the time.
I love when they do that, when they say like, it just felt like you just didn't have the time to do everything you wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, because you gave them 20 minutes.
The sad part is Gayle took 20 minutes to get ready today too, and she actually came dressed as she was envisioned. Fix your vision, Gayle.
So then they're like, okay, Alona, you can go now. Go back to your island. So now the judges leave. And Kristen's like, well, you all flex your muscles really well.
All right.
Muscles.
Get the hook.
Muscles. It's a muscles.
Hook.
What I'm saying is, so you have these things in your arms. And when you flex your arms, you get the muscles. Okay. So now it's time. You might find, for the next challenge, you might find the mission slightly impossible. Give me 1 second to really illustrate this pun. I'm going to leave the room and we are going to really, really sell this pun in a big way. Okay, bye everyone. So Kristen leaves.
Mission Impossible. What are we going to try and get Gayle into Spanx again?
Mission Impossible. What? Is that like going into ShopRite after Gayle's been there and trying to get anything? So they the room gets dark.
I love that this is so awkward. She's like, I will be right back. So she leaves and then they make it dark and put smoke in the room and then put lasers so she can crawl back into the room over the lasers. So it's like smooth transition, guys. You could edit.
I know. You could just have your prop that she needs to bring in, I don't know, ready.
This is being filmed. You know what I mean? She could have just been in the lasers. Like, guys, we don't need this in real time.
This might be an impossible mission. Okay, give it 10 minutes. Just remember I said impossible mission. That was the last thing I said. Okay, I'll be right back.
So now a screen comes down and we see the actor Greg Tarzan Davis from Mission Impossible.
And he is so actory. He's like, "What's up, chefs? It's your boy, Greg Tarzan Davis, here from Mission Impossible. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to create a dish that delivers on that impossible mission because of Mission Impossible intensity. And it features a stunt, kind of like the movie Mission Impossible, which I'm in theaters soon, if you can get there. Or maybe that will prove to be a mission too impossible for you, but hopefully not."
Yeah, he is very like, I was in a movie. I'm currently in Hollywood where I make films. We do stunts. You should see Tom Cruise do stunts. It's crazy. So flex those muscles and get ready to do some stunts. So he's like, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. And the girl's like, oh my God. And then the explosion just happens on the screen and it's kind of a letdown.
They all think that there's going to be a real explosion.
Sorry, guys. We gave Gail her cheese too late. So we'll have to put the explosion on the screen.
Well, everyone, as Tarzan just mentioned, yes, his name is Tarzan. For this elimination challenge, we want to see your stunts on a plate. So I'm looking forward to all of you interpreting the word stunt in a very lame and sad way. All right, see you all later.
Yeah. So, as Tarzan just mentioned, stunt, plate. So this whole stunt thing, no one really explains it. They're like, okay. And so they're trying to figure out Kristen reads the literal definition, obviously. It requires great skill or daring. But is it so that you make your plate slide down a building? Is it that, your salmon flips over? Like, what is it? No one really knows. So they have to come up with their own version of a stunt, which is, I think, a problem in the challenge. So Lana's like, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think that when I think of food that has a stunt, my interpretation is that there's something kind of theatrical about it, like something tall or big. Maybe something has to be cracked and then you reveal something underneath or whatever. Or I'm imagining I don't know, maybe a flame or something. I think the stunt should be a visual thing, a visceral thing. It's something sort of interactive that you have to do. And
or you name your fish Tom Cruise and then have it marry a straight person like Katie Holmes or something like that.
Yes. I think publicity stunts are totally allowed. They didn't say what type of stunt.
So,
wait a second. My plate is wearing a dress. What sort of stunt is this?
Yeah, or something like you want to put a shrimp in a soup. So you have the shrimp sitting on a spoon that's balanced on something. And then to get it into the soup, you have to hit the spoon and then it flips in. I don't know, something. Yeah. I was expecting that too, but it was not that. So Lana's like, I mean, a stunt on a plate. I already made an Italian sub out of mussels. So I feel like all my food's really straightforward. So, no stunts involved. No animals were harmed in the making of, I guess animals are harmed in the making of it. I suck at this challenge. I'm just going to say it right now.
Literally killed and eaten. She's like, no animals were harmed. Oh, actually, we actually ate the animals. So it's actually way worse. Way worse. She's like, okay, well, and now for the fun part, like Tarzan mentioned, there are 2 advantages available, and they are both going to entail braving the edge walk of the CN Tower here in Toronto. Does anyone not like heights? And they're like, why are we talking about heights in a culinary competition?
Why we got to get a bunch of out of shape people to go do something on ropes around a tourist attraction? Why?
I know. So they're going to have to go up to the CN Tower and walk around.
Stupid. So this time there's $10,000 up for grab and some special wins that they'll learn about on the edge of a tower. So they go up there to this tower and it's scary because you're on the top of a tower and they've got this, of course, tourist leader lady, I don't know what you call them, who's like, all right, guys, we're on the top of a tower. We're climbing. I love heights. We're on ropes, so we're going to lean off. Okay, everybody, I'm leaning. Look at me, leaning backwards. I don't care. What do I care? Oh, am I going to fall? I'm going to die. I'm not dead. I'm still here, guys. You could die. Let's try it, okay? All they have to do is walk around. They're all tied to ropes. I would shit myself, though, this high. Would you?
Yeah, it's scary. I think the leaning forward and putting your arms out was like scary, but it's so funny because on reality shows, the things that they make most reality stars do for like their Fear Factory kind of stunt things is pretty insane. They usually have to like walk across a gorge on a cable, or like, I mean, just on the Traitors, they were dangling Dolores from a helicopter and swinging her around over the Scottish countryside. They have to do crazy things, but I love just for chefs, they're like, just walk on this circle a little bit. And then lean forward, and now you're done. They're like, they're chefs.
But still, they couldn't all do it. Like, Massimo couldn't do it. Massimo's like, no, I have children to take care of. No, I'm not doing it. And who was the other one that wussed out? Lana, right?
Lana.
She's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of leaning and stuff. But, you know, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And she's like, I just made muscles in 20 minutes. I'm not doing this.
Oh, well, Gayle just went up and did that, and now they've called it the Leaning Tower of CN. So,
Wow, Gayle climbed to the top of that tower and put all her weight on it. Now the tower gets a special accommodation in the final challenge.
Sorry, I was distracted. I was just hanging out with Anne Boleyn. Hard to have a conversation with someone who doesn't have a head, even in ghost form. God, how lame.
So they do this stupid challenge, and then let's see. I'm fast forwarding through this. Sorry, everybody.
Me too. They do this whole thing. So they get back into the kitchen, and now they're going to go shopping. And Massimo reveals that his stunt that he's going to do is he's going to do something en croûte. So basically, he will ultimately wind up making fish wrapped in like pastry, essentially. And the stunt is that it normally takes like hours and hours to do this, but he's going to do it within 2 hours. So it is a stunt for people who know how to cook salmon en croûte.
Yeah.
And for everyone else, it's just salmon en croûte.
It's a stretch. That's a stretch, but that's going to be his. And the people who did the challenges get extra 30 minutes for their wins or whatever. So Vinny also did the circle. So they also get $75 extra or whatever. Okay, so now they go shopping. Yeah. And then Massimo is talking about his en croûte, and Lana's like, my mom has a crippling fear of heights. Like, she wouldn't have gone up, but, you know, like, she's awesome. She always pushed me to be my best, and I always ate good. So I said mom a lot. Can I win?
Just like, I'm going to make a fish mosaic. It's like, yes, nothing speaks of a stunt like a mosaic, especially one made out of fish. When I watched Mission Impossible, I'm like, ooh, I hope that Tom Cruise makes a stunt. Makes a mosaic. Oh, did Tom Cruise make that mosaic, or did they have a stunt double while he made that? We put the tiles together.
I didn't really get this either. I thought maybe she was going to do it in a way where it was resting on top of something that when you put your fork through it, it all crumbles. Or, I mean, I don't know. Like, it all comes apart like broken glass, you know?
Well, the other thing is that, like, a lot of them interpreted stunt like an illusion. Like, an illusion is a stunt. Because in their mind, they're thinking, oh, when you cook something that looks like something else, it's kind of like, it is a bit of a stunt because you're relying on this, like, perception thing to give the audience a thrill. But I think that the challenge wants more of a literal stunt. And so the mosaic, but the thing is, the mosaic isn't even an illusion. It's just a mosaic of fish. It's just fish, different fish in a pattern.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really get it. So Shuai is like, well, my mother and my grandmother love making me turducken. Okay. And that's where you shove a duck into a turkey and then you shove a chicken into the duck, into the turkey. So it's called turducken. And there's nothing trashier than that shit. And I'm going to make it.
I'm like, that's fine. But why is this a stunt? I mean, I think that he just had a plan to make.
You're just making a food representation of Gayle.
You're just making Gayle camping. You know, when late at night, she goes into the log cabin and wraps herself up in some duck and then turkey and then chicken.
She a Gayle ducking. That's when you shove a turkey into Gayle and then a duck into the turkey into Gayle and then a chicken into the duck into the turkey into the Gayle. Okay? Get it right.
And just like that, it is dangerous. So,
And that's just lunch.
and then you take the entire Gale duck and put it into some culottes. Wow. You've never seen some threads really pushed to their limits until you've seen that.
Oh, God. What happens next? You tell me.
I'll tell you. They're at Whole Foods and they're ordering stuff. They're ordering chicken. There's nothing really happened. They get all their food. Everything's fine. And now they get to cooking. And Massimo, his whole thing is that like he has not a second to spare. He's got 30. Everything it's like rigorously planned out. He's got to make his dough and he's got to get it cool, but it can't go in the fridge. It won't be fast enough. It can't go in the freezer. So he's got to get that done perfectly. And then he's got to get it in the oven. He's got to, everything is precision based. And this is his stunt. And I'm like, I literally don't care. You've done this to yourself. This is not a stunt. This is just a high precision dish that you've decided to make in a short amount of time. It's not a stunt. It is actually a flex of your culinary prowess.
Yeah. So then Cesar is going to do Arctic char with a custard because that's a very interesting idea. And he wants to plate it in a tall glass that could represent the CN Tower. And then you have to break into it and shatter the glass, which is going to be a fish tool. And then you have to rescue the Arctic char. This is a stretch too, but at least he's giving them something to break.
Yeah, at least he's like trying to do the stunt, even though this feels wildly misguided. Because the glasses he chooses are like just a little bit taller.
Yeah.
They don't really look like the CN Tower. Why doesn't he should have made something that was architectural and tall, maybe. And like, it's not, you know what, it's almost like he should have made a tower and then had like a scallop dangling off of it. And then like the scallop has to like bungee jump into like a sauce, or it has to dive into the sauce. And then you eat it out of the sauce.
I don't know, but none of them sound as gross as, I don't know. I can't even think of one because it's just such a weird challenge. We're not following. I mean, honestly, that sounds better than most of the stuff we've heard. I was just visualizing it as you did it. And I was like, I don't know that this challenge is, I think it's just this challenge is flawed, you know? So then Tristan sounds really gross. Okay, here's Tristan's. He's like, I got this idea for this stunt based on Mission Impossible because someone pumped their arm full of a virus to transport it. So I'm just going to stuff chicken wings with a virus of chicken mousse. Gross.
This is down there with the restaurant wars where Michael, the Voltaggio brothers, and that one chef, Michael, what's his face, they decided to make a restaurant. And like, so the Voltaggio brothers, they're Voltaggio, and the other guy was like, his last name was like R.E. something another. And they combined the two names of Voltaggio and Ronaldo, let's say, into Revolt. So they named their restaurant Revolt. We're like, yeah. What are you? Here's some revolting food. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about let's not like yes.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Be like, let's not be like, hey, what you're about to eat right now represents a virus.
Well, yeah, okay. So it's gonna be stuffed with a virus, which is fucking chicken mousse, which also sounds disgusting. I'm sorry, chicken mousse.
I love chicken mousse, actually.
Ugh. So okay, you've got a chicken wing stuffed with mousse, which already is gross. Okay, so then you've got an antidote on the side, and then they have to get the antidote within a certain amount of time and then pour the antidote over, and the antidote is the sauce, right? Well, that's cute. But then you still get into the wing, and the wing still is oozing with the virus. So then how did the antidote fix the virus? You know what I mean? This was not thought out.
Okay, you take the wing with the mousse virus, kill that from a tower and make that fall into a sauce. I just want something to take a dive off of something into a sauce. That's all I want. I want something to drop. I want something to drop and splatter.
Yeah.
And that's the stunt.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lana's still talking about how her mom does fish. So she's going to do, her mom does this fried fish thing and she uses cornmeal. So she's going to use the cornmeal component, but she's not going to bread the fish. She's going to put it on the bottom of the fish, which I don't know if anybody here has just had raw cornmeal, but.
It's a stunt. It's a stunt, a cornmeal stunt. In the spirit of Mission Impossible, I'm going to separate the cornmeal fry from the fish.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how any of this is going. So her first attempt at the crumble cornmeal thing isn't working because she put too much butter. So she's like, Caesar, is there tapioca maltodextrin?
That sounds like a drag name. And now tapioca maltodextrin. And he, of course, is like, yeah, no, that'll be great. So she's doing that. I don't even know what tapioca maltodextrin does really, but I just know that anytime anyone reaches for these things or like xanthan gum on Top Chef, it always backfires. I mean,
yeah.
Vinny,
that's why I pointed it out. But tapioca is like a cornstarch type thing when you use the tapioca. You use it to thicken, yeah.
So Vinny, meanwhile, at least he's trying to do a stunt. He's like, okay, for my stunt, I have breadstick lasers, and they're going to sit on top of a bowl. And then you're going to have to reach through the laser beams to get the golden key. And once you have the key, then you can break the lasers over the tartar and enjoy. I was like, that's not really how lasers work, though. You don't break lasers like with a key.
But I have to say, in Vinny's defense, at least he's trying, and he hasn't said nomad yet. So I like that. And he did not say he's making hollandaise, which I also liked. So far, Vinny's doing pretty good. So then Massimo. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. May I pontificate?
Please.
I think what you do is you do like sugar work. You do a dessert and you make your lasers out of like, spun sugar, right? Like you melt the sugar, you do the whole thing and you make them like, maybe you can add some food coloring in there so they're like red. And then you make some sort of dessert and you layer the sugar work like you in your bowl high up above. So in order to get to the dessert, you have to get your spoon through the lasers. And I think that's an homage to like the most famous Mission Impossible scene of all time. And
which she even just did. Sense. Kristen just did it. Climbing over the lasers.
She literally did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then let's see. So Massimo, we already know what he's doing. Okay. So the judges arrive at judging to sit down and, we have Benit and we've got our guest judges and stuff, whatever. And Tarzan's there. And they're like, so Tarzan, you're going to be looking out to my left. Check out that view. We're on top of this high building. Do you just want to jump off something? And he goes, I am tempted because I'm in films, action films. And I'm in one currently with Tom Cruise. Let me tell you a little bit of something about Tom Cruise. He's put that adrenaline bug in me. I know Tom Cruise. I might jump just from having one lunch with Tom Cruise. Let me tell you, Tom Cruise is something. Am I right, Tom Cruise fans?
Lights, camera, action. Am I right? Being an actor. So Kristen's like, well, in honor of Mission Impossible and you being here, we wanted a stunt along with every dish. Okay. Oh, and Buddha, you're here too. Buddha, what would you do? This is tailor-made for you. Buddha's like, well, I would have brought my favorite mold, which was a mold of a laser. And then I would have made a laser out of pureed lettuce. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good stunt.
Unlike all of your clothes, Buddha, this challenge was tailor-made for you. He's like, yeah. Or I loved it. Or I've always had a vision of a floating island. And the dream was that the meringue actually floats with helium. That's what I would have done for that. I fucking love Buddha, and I love seeing him back here. Can I just say Buddha is the cutest guy? Like, he's so supportive of everybody. And he's like so happy when they do well. He's like, this was amazing. I've never tasted anything like it. It shattered the inside of my perceptions and let me know what true food could really be.
Buddha, I love your fantasy about your floating meringue. I take it Gayle's not on your island because it's floating.
And Tarzan's like, wow, I will say this pantry looks way different from mine, right, guys? Because let me tell you, mine's got Tom Cruise hiding in there. Okay. I'm like, Tom Cruise, can I just get to some Nutter Butters? Get the hell out of my pantry. God, that guy.
An actor's pantry is really something to behold. I mean, craft services, what they do for us, I mean, they are the real heroes of our industry. So then back in the kitchen, Lana is filling heart-shaped pipettes with hot sauce. Perfect to go with your fish mosaic. It's a big stunt. And she's like, I thought heart-shaped pipettes look super cute because it's a dish from my mom, but also a fish mosaic and also Mission Impossible. I was like, great. Nice, makes no sense dish from mom.
Okay, but this fucking challenge isn't about your mom. Like she keeps leaning into this, like, I love my mom so much. I'm going to make my mom's dish. This is how my mom did it growing up. My mom made it this way, so I need the cornmeal because my mom made the corn. Did your mom fucking pretend to get run over by cars and then stand up and she was really fine? Like, did your mom set her arm on fire and run in circles to, make a good
Her mom
fire
never
scene?
loved her. Her mom never loved her. So this is her pursuit of finally getting approval of her mother, which is why it is truly a Mission Impossible. So... That got really dark. I apologize.
I was like,
She seems
wow,
like a great woman.
geez, what her mom do?
My Mission Impossible is getting my mom to say, good job, Lana. Good job. So Bailey's making something. It's like she's making a lasagna, but she's making it look like a tiramisu. That's her stunt. I guess you could say that's kind of like Mission Impossible because they do often like rip the masks off their faces and turns out that's Tom Cruise. So this is like a tiramisu that's like, guess what? I'm a lasagna, which by the way, I don't know if I want that in my Mission Impossible.
Well, she could have done something like where you make the crepe and then you wrap it over like a face mold, you know what I mean? Or like a wig head mold to make it look like it's a mask from there. And then you have to rip it off and the real thing is under there. Something like that.
Could you imagine?
Like, I'm going to make another Italian dessert. Like,
You're watching Mission Impossible. It's like Kristen Scott Thomas, and then she pulls off her face and she's just a lasagna. Wait, you're a sentient lasagna? Yes, I am.
So here we go. Massimo's up first, and he's like, I did a real stunt. I made en croûte. And they're like, wow.
Tarzan's like, I don't get it, but I'm an actor. So being an actor is being an actor. I'm an actor.
I'm sorry. Did you say you made a salmon on cruise? Because I know Tom Cruise.
It's like there's a huge variable of success that is out of your control when you cook a protein in pastry. The dough is made today. There's an emotion with saffron and a fondue tomate. Louis the 15th, my favorite Louis. And Buddha's like, I love this guy. I wish I had a mold of this guy that I could just make little dishes of this guy out of my mold.
Thirstiest chef I've ever seen. It's adorable. And Kristen's like, okay, Lana, what's your dish? What's your stunt? And she's like, I love my mom. Okay? My mom loves me. My mom made fried fish. I love my mom's fried fish. You might notice little sauces and hearts. My stunt is loving sauce and hearts. So you pour it over this. Now on the side is tartar sauce hollandaise because I think that Vinny would also like my mom. So
my stunt is trying to make you figure out why some sauces are in a pipette and others are not. Enjoy.
Yeah. Semi-pipetted. So I didn't really get this, but the fish also looks crazy and there's no stunt. It's just different fish kind of wrapped together in a circle and then cooked.
It's a mosaic. It's a small mosaic in the shape of a circle. And the mosaic is squares of fish that are all the same color. So it's like looking at a grid of fish in a circle.
Did not get. And also it's served over the cornmeal, which is just like in a lump on the plate. I get it.
It's with pipettes, heart-shaped pipettes too.
Yeah. So Kristen's like, so Buddha, if I remember correctly, you've done a lot of en croûte. How's Massimo's? And he's like, oh, fantastic. I mean, 2 hours to make pastry, bake it up, fill it up. I mean, kudos to him. Yeah, Gail's en croûte snuggie doesn't really compare, does it, Gail?
So Patrick, this guy Patrick is like, he likes it. But he's like, well, is it a big
Gail's
stunt?
like the opposite of en croûte. A Gail en croûte is like backwards en croûte because en croûte is fish wrapped in carbs and Gail en croûte is carbs wrapped in Gail.
I often say Gail's hair is en croûte just because it's so crusty.
We did Gail's 23andMe and it came back and it just said white bread.
So Tom is like, I mean, this is like, maybe it's not a big, maybe not a big risk, but since we have an actor here, I'll just say first take. You don't go back and do it again. You hit it on the first take. Am I right? And Tarzan's like, yeah, run out of time. The sun's going down. You got to get the shot. You know, you're about to go into overtime. You don't want to pay those guild dues. You know, the drivers are ready to take you off the set. You're waiting for your rundown, your call sheet for tomorrow. Am I right? Acting.
Yeah. So now they talk about Lana's dish, and Tarzan's like, I don't know how into this was, but I don't want every role I get either. And so I'm just going to call this dish what I choose my career sometimes, and that is doing it for the insurance.
Hitting my SAG minimum. That's what I call this.
Exactly.
As I squeeze this pipette.
Yeah. So he's like, love the heart behind it. No pun intended. That was actor pun because there's little hearts here. Okay. But this did bring me back to New Orleans, and it reminded me of my mom's fried food, but it sucked. So it turns out my mom can't cook. Okay. If my mom ever made a decent meal, that would be a stunt. How's Tarzan here? Tarzan clocking in.
For me, this just kind of was like a fried pile of cornmeal. Gayle, stop talking about your shampoo. We're trying to judge some food here.
It just tasted raw. Well, imagine how the cornmeal felt.
So then, they don't like this cornmeal. And then in the kitchen, Bailey and Cesar are getting ready for, for their food to come out. And Cesar is having some issue with his fish tuiles because they're not cooking. They're cooking too fast on the flat top. So he has to go to a pan, and then he has to rush things, and some are getting burnt, and he's being sloppy, and everything's going to shit for Cesar.
Yeah, and so he's pissed. And next up is Cesar and Bailey. So they do think that Bailey's dish is dessert, which is crazy. And Tarzan's like, is this dessert? Wow. Or is it acting like somebody else? God, this dessert is almost good enough actor to know Tommy Cruise.
Did this dessert go to Stella Adler? Because it is really playing a part right now. Wow, it is.
This tiramisu is method.
By the way, he actually has like a very hard time getting over the fact that it's not dessert. He's like, so this is not dessert because it looks like dessert. Like, no, it's a lasagna. Pretty sure it's dessert. It looks like tiramisu. It's dessert, guys. Come on. I'm an actor, but I'm not dumb. It's a dessert, guys. Come on.
And Tom's like, well, I think that's a trick, because it's supposed to look like dessert, but it's not. But why would someone want to eat something that looks like dessert that's not dessert? I mean, come on.
He's like going to call his publicist, what the fuck sort of shows you put me on with the desserts that taste like main meals, or the main meals that look like dessert? I don't know what the fuck this is, but get me off it.
These fuckers tried to trick me. Do they know who I am? I'm an actor.
I'm Tarzan. So Bailey's like, so I made a tiramisu fugazzi. I made a porcini crispelle, a norcina sausage bolognese, bechamel layered in with just a little bit of truffle, and basically I just made it look like a slice of cake, but it's actual lasagna. Tarzan, are you okay? You seem to be sneering at me and very angry at the moment.
Bailey's constant pasta is making me crazy. And now I know this isn't pasta. This is crepes that she's calling a lasagna. But I still just get annoyed that she keeps saying pasta, pasta, pasta. Like, I get it. You work in an Italian. You're like Nomad without the name Nomad,
Constant pasta is all she cooks.
Like, I get it. You work in an Italian restaurant. Fuck. So Cesar's like, this is a miniature CN tower. So your mission is to break through it, fish twill that's on top. And inside you'll find Arctic char. And then you have a secret weapon, and it's going to be sauce. And sure, make sure to grab one. But don't do it too fast because I get scared by sudden moves. I don't like stunts. They're scary.
By the way, this is, I think, the first time I've ever heard the phrase, your secret weapon is going to be sauce. How? You're going to break into the CN Tower and you're going to do it with sauce.
Wow. Well, that's handy. Gayle's already got some of that secret weapon all over her face. Hey, can someone give Gayle the stunt of a napkin?
Here's a stunt, clearing Gayle's plate before she's licked every single last scrap off of it. I hope you don't mind bite marks. So,
And Tarzan's like, wait a minute. This is sweet too. Is this sweet? Why is this sweet? And he's like, well, there's a romaine jam in there. Doesn't that sound good? Romaine jam. It's a jam made out of romaine.
what a romaine jam. So then, yes, Tarzan is losing his mind because the thing that looks like dessert is actually it's actually savory, and the thing that looks like dinner tastes like dessert. And he's like, I don't understand this. Okay, I'm an actor, but no one told me to prepare for this. Okay, I don't know what sort of response I'm supposed to have. What is the motivation of me right now? This is out of my control.
And that's a custard. There's a custard in there as well. So that dish also sounds crazy. So then now they're talking about Bailey's dish, and they like it okay. They actually really like it. And they're like, wow. Tom's like, well, crepes are a little thick and doughy. Are you just going to let that one sit on the table? Listen, everybody, I can't do everything, okay? I'm up here trying to ask Lucy Ricardo why she ever broke up with that handsome Cuban.
Tarzan, why don't you give it a try? Okay, your prompt is, this crepe is a little thick and doughy. Okay, Tarzan, go.
I've been in movies. Idiot.
Have you been in a movie with Lena Waithe? I didn't think so. Go back to being stupid.
So Tarzan's like, I felt deceived, though. I felt deceived because, one was savory, one was custardy. I just don't get it. So do they like the sweetness of Caesar's dish? And one of the judges is like, no. The oil from the tool melt with the custard, no. It's not good. And Buddha's like, well, the fish was handled nicely. Presentation was great, but it needed some acidity to cut through that sweetness. I didn't really understand that. I would have preferred if the acidity was being lifted by fire created by sunflower seeds that had been rehomogenized with a little bit of natural kerosene.
Instead of having a fish tweel that we break, he should have made a blimp out of fish tweel, and it floats over the table, and you have to throw tiny forks at it and hope it crashes. That's a stunt.
Well, I'm finding the tweel to be somehow burnt. Yeah, but that's like when Gayle was in dance class as a little kid, and her tool was almost burnt because of her thighs rubbing together during plie time.
Plie time, more like please get out of here time. So Tarzan's like, hey, I'm a big sweet person. I'm almost as into sweets as I'm into acting. So when I tasted the sweet was like, not sweet, I was like, I mean, the fish was good, but together, I don't know. I don't know what sort of fuckery you people are doing, but on the set of Mission Impossible, the sweet things were sweet and the savory things were savory, and I've had enough of this bullshit.
Wow, actors, huh? I finally found someone dumber than a mixologist. That's something. And he's like, yeah, and I had a different idea of what stunts were going to look like. Did I ever tell you what I pulled off with Tommy Cruise? I mean, that was on the side of a plane, okay? Now you're going to put some ice cream into a fucking fish and I'm supposed to clap? I'm sorry, guys. I need some sparkles in the food, okay? So at least I can say, wow, there's sparkles. There's danger. Watch out.
He's not wrong. He's like, I came all the way up here to Toronto to shoot this scene with you guys, and there's not any sparkler anywhere. I just have to pretend that I care that a fish en croûte was made in 2 hours.
Yeah, how was something not like flambéed or something where you light like a little string and it goes bum, 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 tss, and then starts the fire, something.
I mean, it just like a flaming Dr. Pepper at this point. Jeez. So then in the kitchen, Vinny is making his lasers. This is the first time we actually see his lasers. I love that he decided to do lasers because he's like trying to do a stunt. But when we actually see these lasers, it's like...
It's breadsticks.
It's breadsticks.
It's literal breadsticks rested on top of a bowl. Okay? They don't look like lasers. There's nothing lasery about this. But he calls them lasers. Now, his dish is actually beautiful. It does look like... very high-end.
Starts off beautiful.
Yeah, yes. It looks gorgeous. I mean, the artwork of it is just beautiful. It looks really good. But then he decides he needs to do more to make it a stunt. So he has it in a bowl and then it's served on a plate. And then he pours dry ice all over it, all over the plate, which freezes the dish.
It freezes the entire thing. the entire thing. Like the sauce, like because the dish, like the two plates are actually melded together because it's like a bowl with a dish, and then there's the bowl under it that has the dry ice, and they just freeze together. And meanwhile, Tristan, because Tristan's also using dry ice, because his whole thing is that he's going to serve his sauce, and you know how he's like, oh, you have to get to the sauce before it gets too cold. So he's serving his sauce in a bowl with dry ice, and the idea is that if they wait too long to get to the sauce, the dry ice is going to make it too cold, and they're gonna fail. So he's adding like a ticking clock. But the problem is that he doesn't get to present his food first, so he's just sitting there waiting before two people while his shit just gets frozen over also.
Yes. So Tristan's, you know, they're like, oh my God, that's so clever. A timer went off and we had to get the sauce for the thing. Oh my God, why is my chicken bleeding moose? But let's see. So we get to Shuai.
You start with Shuai first, though.
Yeah, let's start with Shuai, yeah. So
yeah, he actually goes first, which I think the producers did on purpose just to fuck over the two people who used dry ice, knowing that the dry ice was going to mess up their dishes. So Shuai is like, you know, actually, no, Vinny starts, but then we have Shuai, who then has his turducken, which I still don't understand the stunt here. This is actually this may be the biggest stretch of all. Like, there's no stunt here. This is just a turducken.
Yeah. And he doesn't even make it sound like a stunt. He sells his as, I'm sticking with my trashy fantasy theme. And they're like, okay. So then being Gayle isn't a stunt. It's just a sadness. So Tristan is like, yeah, this is Chicken Impossible. It's a chicken wing stuffed with a virus of crab.
A virus of crab and doing sausage and chicken.
So the antidote is American flavored like the Viet Cajun seafood bowl. Okay, so now it's judging time, and they can't eat Vinny's. It's like literally frozen. And Don was like, well, if the mission was to make ice pop out of raw beef, nailed it.
Yeah, and they basically can't eat it, and they try to eat it, and they just can't at all. And Buddha's like, in terms of story, I was blown away. I mean, the key, the lasers. I mean, if he levitated away from the dry ice, it could have been a very, very interesting dish. Or if he just made the dish levitate. Why can't any of these people make these dishes float? That's all I ask for. Floating food.
Yeah, and Kristen's like, well, I want to try it. So does anybody have a piece that's not frozen? So Tom's like, yeah, here you go. And it's rock solid. Gail's like, that is rock solid. I can't. And so, yeah, the Shuai's dish is next. And someone likes the texture, but they think there needs to be more veg or whatever.
Yeah.
And Gail's like, well, that is a well-constructed turducken. We'll say that.
Anyone? Anne Boleyn, you want to get in on this? Okay, hold on. Anne Boleyn says the following. She has no head. I'm sorry. She didn't have any jokes.
She tried moving her mouth, but nothing came out because her voice box is still stuck on her body.
Still more interesting than anything Gayle ever says. Am I right? So then we'll talk about Tristan's. And one thing that happened with Tristan's is his whole stunt of like, you got to get the sauce out of these bowls before, like in 30 seconds before it got too cold. But because the dry ice was like going, when they all reach in, did you notice that clearly the sauce was like ice cold and they're all reaching in, like, and they're all like, their fingers, they're like, they didn't want to touch it. They're like freezing their fingers off.
Yeah, so that was kind of a fail, but Buddha thinks it was tasty and textural and well seasoned. And he's like, well, you know what? Patrick says the dish at least had a point of view and was delicious. And the sauce was the best thing we ate today. It was restaurant ready. So they liked his. He got off well again. And then they're like, overall, it was decent, but yikes. So we go to, I like the little judge. We didn't hear much from her, but one of the dishes, she goes, wow, this mission was impossible. What did she say?
Yeah, she's like,
she said something like that. She was
cute. It was impossible.
Yeah, so then we go.
But they're also like, guys, we have an actor here, and this is what you served us. Come on, they're so embarrassed.
Well, it wasn't Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what they always do. Well, actually, didn't Jurassic Park? They got Ron. I hate calling her Ron Howard's daughter, but I always forget her name.
Did they? No, I think that she did like a video, but the actress that they got was a minor actress. They've been getting like smaller and smaller actors for these movies. You know,
Yeah,
like,
they're
there
not
was
going to
that time
get
they
like
got
Tom
Charlize
Cruise, I
Theron.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah. They had Charlize Theron 1 year, but after that, it's been like, here's someone who has a small role in this blockbuster.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Judges Table. Tristan, Bailey, Massimo, please stay here. You had our favorite dishes of the day. Holler. So, yeah, Massimo goes, this was me running through a wall for you.
They're like, it's you made fish in the pastry. Buddha's like, Massimo, I've done Wellingtons before inside the Top Chef kitchen. It's definitely a hard thing to do, and I thought you did extremely well. Although one thing I did notice about your fish, it wasn't floating. Have you even thought about putting helium in it? Come on now.
Kristen's like, wow, so satisfying, rich, heavy. It was just a savory bomb we expected. And Buddha's like, I felt like it was a stunt double when it came out. Great job. And Tarzan's like, I don't even trust you, Bailey, because I had tiramisu, but then once I got past it, I had to say, whoa, I'm not eating sweets.
How am I going to explain this to Tom Cruise when I already texted him, dude, they're serving me tiramisu. You know, you only get one shot with that guy. So Buddha is like, he's like, Tristan, can you tell us more about how you came up with your virus, your chicken mousse virus chicken wing? He's like, yeah, well, there was this Mission Impossible where they had to put a virus into like someone's arm. And I thought, you know what I want to do? I already made chocolate soil last week, so now let me make chicken virus. You know, during this time when we have avian bird flu going around, let's make some virus and put it into a chicken wing.
So then Boodle loved it. He liked it. He liked the story as well. Tom loved the flavors. So it's up to Tarzan to announce the winner. And he's like, as an actor, I would like to say the winning chef today was not Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise could have played this role. I'm telling you, might have won an Oscar for it if he was dangling off the side of a building while he did it, which I've done with him because I'm an actor. But guess who the win is? I forgot. Line.
And the winner is Massimo for your non-floating fish. And Massimo's like, oh, hey, well, as they say, in hockey, they say you have to learn how to lose before you learn how to win. That explains Gayle's fashion sense. Still waiting for that win, though.
22 seasons in, we haven't gotten to that win. But...
Wow. So he's basically like, now I'm heating up. I'm on cloud 9. Buddha's like, don't tempt me with a floating cloud. So Kristen, so he wins $10,000 and 2 tickets for you and a guest to go to the premiere of the new Mission Impossible movie, courtesy of Paramount Pictures, where you'll be flown by Spirit Airlines, a new spirit in the sky, Spirit Airlines.
And Tarzan's like, and you're sitting with me. And he's like, oh, God, is Tom Cruise going to be there?
I don't know, but they usually put me at the back of the theater, so they're really going to sit with me.
What do I got to sit with this fucking guy? He's going to be sat by the popcorn stand. The hell?
I really want to know if he's going to sit next to Tarzan. Like, I actually want follow through on that because I think that premiere must be happening this week or something like that. Like, I want to know, did they sit next to each other? Because you can't make a promise like that on TV and not follow through Tarzan.
Yeah, I guess we'll see where Tarzan lands. So then the other chefs on the bottom are Lonnie, Vinny, and Cesar. Guys, you sucked. Let's talk about it. So Lana, what was the crumble? And she's like, my mom. Love my mom. And so my mom. And then I folded in a little bit of maltodextrin to give that powdery look. And Gail's like, so when you say you cooked that down, was that in a saute pan? And she goes, no, I baked it. She goes, okay, that makes much more sense. You baked it. So you failed. So if this were an egg, would you say that this was a burnt, charred, rubbery egg?
My big problem is that the cornmeal never became hydrated. It's like, you might as well just serve us cornmeal. I mean, was that actually cornmeal? Or was there a stunt here? Was this just, I don't know, Gail's dandruff? Wow, Tom. Didn't see that coming. Good.
Wow, never became hydrated. What are we, Gail's pores?
Tarzan's like, it felt like the cornmeal was a bit dry and Crunch Sandy, which is funny because I did read for the role of Crunch Sandy in the Captain Crunch biopic that's coming out later this year. But I unfortunately lost to Brendan Fraser. I'm still a little salty about it.
And Gail's like, the connection between the fish and the fry, I just couldn't get that because they were texturally off. I need more of a connection between fish and fry. That's what I'm asking for.
Gail's favorite song is the Fish Fry Connection from the Muppets. We haven't told you yet that she got the lyrics wrong.
One connection Gail doesn't need more of. The connection between fry and mouth. So Vinny's like, everything was great. I loved it. I had a great time. Nomad makes it. It always works there. And I slowly saw the tartar starting to freeze in front of you. It was like winter at Nomad. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah, watching that tartar slowly freeze in front of you is like realizing your dreams of being the next top chef are freezing up the moment they said stop cooking hollandaise. I just froze. Didn't know what to do.
And Kristen's like, dry ice can freeze a thin layer of raw beef in 10 seconds, just so you know. I don't know if you learned that in school, but that's what happened.
Tarzan's like, I enjoyed it, the smoke and everything. That was so cool. And I appreciated that your tartar tasted like tartar, not a fucking dessert. But oftentimes in movies, we have the big action stuff and there's nothing behind it, man. And it feels like that's what happened in this situation. We couldn't dish. It was like an action movie without any substance. Okay.
Tarzan's like, all those movies that aren't Mission Impossible, just all action and no substance. Mission Impossible is all action and no substance. That's the point, sir.
What movies has Tarzan been in that are like full of all the... Okay, let's see. His movies, he's been in Mission Impossible, Top Gun Maverick, Tales from the Hood, Call of the Wild. Okay, so all those movies with all that meaning behind it.
He's like, it's not called Call of the Wild Tiramisu. That's really a lasagna. Okay.
It's not called the lasagna. It's called the tiramisu.
And Gail's like, this dish suffered from the need for some editing. Oh, really, Gail? Someone needs to take their own advice in the wardrobe.
Diana Vreeland told me to tell you that. So Kristen's like, Caesar, are you surprised to be standing here? And he's like, yeah, my storytelling didn't do so well. I think I got spooked because I had a dream that my rutabaga ate me from under my bed.
It grew through my mattress and tied me down and then started eating me alive. So Buddha's like, well, the turmeric custard, that was overpowering. Am I right? Spiritually, it really touched me. Was there a specific sort of flavor profile of sort of cuisine that you were looking at that you completely missed? Or if the idea for this was a stop and you were on the bus that passed it, do you know what went wrong there? Could you just tell me? Should the bus have been floating above the stop? That's what I'm asking.
And what if a guy was hanging off of the bus, like an actor might be in a Mission Impossible movie? That's right, Tarzan. You're getting the hang of it now.
And so Sarah's like, I was playing off fresh flavors and textures, but I don't know. I guess it just didn't come together.
Oh, so many get jokes about Gail to be had. I mean, really, you guys just make it so easy for me. It's almost not fun anymore.
I'm literally exhausted with this. I've been trying to pay attention to Rob Goulet covering Beyonce's powerful 18 carriages.
Unfortunately, Gail ate 2 of the carriages, so we're down to 16.
Gail's reach extends to heaven.
She eats ghost carriages. It's shocking.
John Denver started crying when the carriages went missing.
She also ate his country road. Now he just goes down country grass. It's so sad for him.
So they do some private judging and they're like, well, Lana's cornmeal was shitty, but how was the rest of the dish? And Buddha's like, well, she tried to create an illusion with the description, but there was no illusion. And Gail's like, if I ate with my eyes closed, I never would have gotten that. Well, yeah.
Gayle, stop talking about how you sleep. Go into Gayle's house at 3 a.m. She just props her head up on that table and shuts those eyes.
Oh, and Tarzan's like, well, I'm telling you this. I would be upset if I spent a lot of money for that dish. Damn, Tarzan. And then, but thankfully I don't spend a lot of money on dishes because I'm an actor and I generally get them for free or I don't eat them. And Tom's like, yeah, and then we get frozen tartare. Well, they should have served it chiseled, just like we serve action stars. Am I right, Tom? You should see Tom's abs.
Gail's like, honestly, that actually would have been a good stunt. So Kristen's like, well, when you can't actually eat a dish, I mean, what do you do with that? Well, I'm afraid that Gayle has never encountered that issue before.
I was going to say, Gayle hasn't met that dish yet.
I mean, give her a rubber tire. Still be bite marks in it.
Gayle would literally eat the dish. So Buddha's like, oh God, it's hard to see somebody fail with dry ice because so many of us really, really rely on that in our daily walks of life. And Gayle's like, I mean, it feels like he was sabotaged in the end by the evil genius who came in and froze everything. Calm down, Gayle. They're just little barbs. I wasn't talking about you. Please just stay dead.
Gayle, stop trying to get cast in Mission Impossible, okay? You're not going to be a movie star. So
now Cesar's dish, Kristen calls it overwhelmingly sweet and confused. And also burnt. Don't forget about that. Burnt.
Everyone's like, yeah, Cesar's dish was disgusting. I wanted to vomit. Gross. And Tarzan's like, I kind of liked it. Actor.
Tom's like, well, for dessert, it's good, I guess. And Gayle goes, but for tartare, it's not, Tarzan.
Tarzan's like, wait, it's called a tartare? I thought all this time you guys had just come up with a cool new nickname for me. I was like, hey, I'm Tartar. No. So it's an actual dish.
Buddha's like, Buddha's like, well, I don't see where it was going flavor-wise, and I don't see where it was going stunt-wise as well. I mean, where was it going? That was a lost tartar.
Are you guys talking about me or the dish? I'm fully confused.
I admitted that I thought it was a tiramisu. Okay, I admitted that. You don't have to call me lost.
You don't have to make fun of my face. I know I'm an actor. I know I'm handsome. I'm not dumb, but I am a little confused every time you say tartar. Are you talking about me? Are you shading me? It's not cool, guys. So Buddha, now they have to go to the quick fires because it's like everyone's messed up so much. And basically the track record is that Lana and Vinny did well in the quick fires and Cesar messed up. So ultimately
this is really saving Lana's ass, I think. Because I think that fish would have been a goner. And it's sad that it's so bad that it's even a question when they couldn't even eat Vinny's. They couldn't even eat Vinny's. And the fact that it's still a question between other people is crazy.
That must have been really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vinny was in the top for his muscle larb. So they're going to keep him. And Tom's like, and Cesar was on the bottom and on the bottom. That's double bottom. What are we on Bravo?
So basically, yeah, that's going to seal the deal. So they come out and, chefs, you had to actually conceive this stunt that clearly pulled some people out of their comfort zone. Tarzan over here is still trembling about this whole dessert situation. He's very confused. For the most part, you really didn't deliver neither on the story, the stunt, or the execution of the dish. Kristen? Palma, Kristen?
So Kristen's like, Cesar, please pack your knives and go. Cesar, you've got a chance in hell. You've got a snowball's chance in hell of getting back into this competition through Last Chance Kitchen. We'll see you there. It's a great show. I love it.
Yeah, great show.
It's going to be good.
Yep. I actually watched Last Chance Kitchen, but I will not spoil what happened. But
I want to know.
Okay, everyone, this is a Last Chance Kitchen spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, you can just end the episode now. And now
press
here
stop.
we go.
Okay, we're giving you a chance. 1, 2, 3, press stop.
Okay, so here's one thing you have to know about Last Chance Kitchen is that it's a two-parter, and I didn't realize it. So I just downloaded the most recent one, and it was like, welcome back to part 2. I was like, okay. So Katiana's been killing it, but before she's killing it. And so this was the finale of Last Chance Kitchen because the winner of this challenge is going to get.
I knew she was coming back. I knew it was.
So it was a best 2 out of 3 thing. So I missed the first part, but apparently in the first part she actually lost the first challenge. So then the second challenge was you have to make a perfect bite. So they both make a bite, and Katiana won the second one. Her bite, Cesar did some weird ass shit. He did like a gougere that was filled with blue cheese and white chocolate. He's
Come
like so
on,
deranged.
man. Yeah.
And Tom's like, I don't even know what is this? I don't know.
Come on.
He was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So then it was tied. And so now Tom's like, all right, sudden death. Just make me a great dish. Grab me, maybe whatever you want. So Cesar decides he takes zucchini and he spirals it up and he grills it and he does like zucchini, but with blueberries. And it's like this weird funky thing. And then Katiana's like, I'm going to go to flavor profiles from when I first started cooking. So she decides to make a cauliflower soup with like raisins and there's something else in it. Yes. Yeah, which I was like, that's oddly safe and also like not what she's really known for. And so her soup, Tom basically said, Katiana, I like what you did here, but your soup is kind of under-seasoned. And then with Cesar, he's like, Cesar, your dishes are either really, really good or really, really bad. And so in this one, it's kind of getting there. And in the end, the winner coming back to the competition, Cesar won.
Oh, no, I was wrong. I thought for sure Katiana was going to be coming back.
I was shocked. I thought Katiana, I could not believe it. But she should not have been making a cauliflower soup.
She bones it at the end, right? She screws it up at the end because I was going to say when she made that weird tofu crumble thing, it was another thing. She's like, well, I like it. I like tofu, so I was like, no. I mean, it seemed like a mistake when she was doing it. And this being like, I'm going to go back to like what I like to make when I first started does not sound like a good.
And Cesar's will definitely seem strange, but it actually looked very beautiful. It looked like a more elevated dish. And like she said that she when she was like a line cook in Vegas, these were flavor profiles that she used when she first started. And I'm like, I get that. That's a nice story, but like don't use, and cauliflower raisins, that all works. That's great. But like,
I feel like I
don't know.
I wouldn't eat a cauliflower soup in Vegas. That sounds cray-cray.
That's the thing.
That sounds so
We're going there
boring.
this weekend. I will not eat a cauliflower soup there.
Yeah, I've made cauliflower soup, but here's what
delicious.
A lot of garlic, a lot of onion, a lot of cream, a lot of seasoning because the cauliflower is nothing,
You actually need a lot of seasoning, like more than you'd think, because otherwise it can go bland. And so I was so bummed. I thought for sure she was going to come back. She was destroying everyone in Last Chance Kitchen, but Cesar just managed to eke by. So
wow, that's too bad. And I like Cesar, but
I love Cesar, but
I don't know. But I just thought she deserved a chance to come back and just kill. I saw her coming back and then winning it like Kristen did in her season.
That's
what she got kicked off, and then she got kicked off. She came back and won the whole thing. Oh well, I guess it's not going to happen. That's too bad.
It is too bad. It's a real shocker.
But good for him. At least he's a sweetheart, and he has done some really cool creative stuff, but he's just also had some crazy missteps. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like I want him
the second dish you described, I would kick him off just for that.
Yeah, it's like I want him, like I like that he likes being bold, but I also kind of want him to maybe just rein it in a little bit, because he's clearly talented and he's gotten better and better over the course of the season. And like, it's cool that he thinks outside the box, but just don't assume that every single outside the box thing works. It's kind of like, stop wasting all of our time, like.
Well, yeah, out of the box is okay, but it's when people are like trying to be wacky just to be wacky, It's like Janet being like, I love Dave and Buster. Like, you're just trying too hard,
I was not expecting that comparison, but true.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So that's the news.
Oh, well, that sucks. But also good for Cesar, So I guess we're going to see next. So how many episodes are left? Probably just a few, right?
I think probably like 2 or 3, because they said next week is the semifinals, I think, or going into the I don't know, or it's like the battle for the semifinals. I think there's 6 people left, right? There's 6
Well,
people
no,
up, but then it's going to go up to
Top Chef,
7.
with the Top Chef, they'll be back up to 7.
But they'll probably do a double elimination.
So it'll be probably 3 weeks left, do you think?
I think it's going to be about 3, unless they make the finale a 2-parter. We'll see.
Yeah, it's usually 12 episodes, I think.
Yeah, only because, we're about to get our summer turnover. So in June, all the new shows are kicking in. You got like Real Housewives of Miami. You've got Next Gen New York City, a new Below Deck. So Top Chef is going to start like winding down now. And they'll probably be done by, I would say, like the first week of June.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, everybody, we'll be here no matter how long it goes. Okay.
We will.
We'll be here. And tomorrow we'll be back with Love Island. Not Love Island. God damn it. We will be doing Love Island in June, speaking of, but Love Hotel and Below Deck tomorrow. So join us and we'll talk to you then. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.